Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C, and this is your latest news update, this time coming from Westminster and also technically the White House. Although, to be more accurate, actually Florida, because President Trump is going to be taking the BBC to court and to bankrupt them. And the BBC are doubling down on their idiocy. There is currently an emergency meeting in Westminster, the heart of the capital in the UK, over the scandal of BBC bias that has now been exposed against President Trump. Over the last couple of days, we've had a lot of ups and downs. Of course, we had a couple of senior resignations, including the Director General and the CEO of BBC News. But in this live stream, we're going to give you guys the latest update on what's happening between the White House and the British state, essentially. The war has now started. We're going to get your reaction as well. First things first, what is going on here? All right, so President Trump is now going to be taking the BBC to court. The deadline is now Friday, the 14th of November now, for $1 billion. $1 billion. Accusing the BBC of manipulating his speech, which is obviously correct. And the BBC confirmed that they have received the letter from President Trump's lawyer, taking the BBC to court. The emergency meeting is now happening now. In case you might have missed it, just as a reminder, this was what they did. BBC One Panorama edited the speech on the January 6th, 2021. This is what they showed, and this was the real clip.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. We're gonna walk down to the Capitol.
Yeah, the BBC are gonna be fucked.
And we're gonna cheer on.
I'm glad.
Brave senators and congressmen and women.
And then, 50 minutes later,
we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Anyway, so that was the edited video some of you might have already seen. But President Trump released a new statement since yesterday after the resignation of Tim Davie, the Director General of the BBC, saying the top people in the BBC, including Tim Davie, the boss, are all quitting or getting fired because they were caught doctoring my very good, perfect speech of January 6th. Thank you to the Telegraph for exposing these corrupt journalists. These are very dishonest people who try to step on the scales of a presidential election, obviously. On top of everything else, they are from a foreign country.
Jimmy.
Hello, Woody.
Hey, are you on YouTube or are you on Kiers?
I was on YouTube there doing a little story thing there, Woody, till you jumped in.
Okay, well,
But you did know what I was doing because, Woody, did you know every time like I try to do something, right, and I'm doing something, how come you always jump in at that moment?
I had no idea. I don't even know where you're at, Jimmy. Don't even know where you're at. I just looked at the clock, and usually I get notification whenever you go on Kick.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. So no, that's the only reason why I just looked to see if you were streaming. So I'm gonna get on my computer. Where you gonna be at? YouTube or? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll find you.
Yeah. I'm totally. Come to YouTube there, Woody. Just stay on the microphone.
Well, I'm gonna switch to my computer.
Right. Go on then.
Okay. One that many consider our number one ally. What a terrible thing for democracy. Absolutely spot on. Now, you might wonder why this is happening. Well, let me tell you. This is Samir Shah. Samir Shah is the chair of the BBC. Born in India, now at the top of power in the British state. In 2021, Samir Shah co-authored the UK government's Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities report. Basically, white people are bad, non-white people are good, and we need more non-white people, and basically using the British tax money to write a report confirming their own biases. Now, the surrogates of the BBC, from their legacy media figures, including as well as the mainstream parties and their political establishment, they're all coming out to defend the BBC. They're all coming out to attack President Trump, and it's not going too well so far because the chief cheerleader of the British state and the BBC happens to be the clown Ed Davey, the leader of the Liberal Democrats. Yes, Ed Davey has written a letter. I'm going to read the letter quickly, but before we do that, he was being interviewed because they've been very busy. They've been sending out their surrogates to go out, attack President Trump, attack the conservative-minded people, defend establishment, because they know that the BBC is finally going down. This is the beginning of the downfall. The US government is now coming for them. Ordinary people in Britain have been cancelling their TV license anyway. They are running out of money and they are running out of friends. So the political establishment are coming for to support them. Let me give you this example. Ed Davey said the BBC isn't perfect, but it belongs to Britain, not President Trump.
Nigel Farage, in a press conference today, directly accused the BBC of election interference. Those are the words that he used. He says that the BBC committed election interference. Do you understand why he's saying that, or do you think that is far too extreme?
I think it's far too extreme. The interference we've seen in elections has come from Nigel Farage's friend, Vladimir Putin. We've seen Russian interference in the most profound, appalling ways, and yet Nigel Farage calls Vladimir Putin the world leader he most admires. I think people...
Jimmy.
Hang on. Hello.
All right. Let me see what channel are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on channel 1099 567, Woody. Everything stops for tea.
No, seriously, where you at? Which are you? I don't.
I'm on my YouTube channel.
I know. What's the name of it?
Burst Chat.
Brit Chat.
Burst. B-U-R-S-T. Chat. I'll push you the fucking link. Jesus Christ, man. Have you got it?
No, I see Chat Burst.
And I'll push you the link. Seems every time I do that though, Woody, you know, every time I do something, you always seem to come at the right time as to fuck me right up. Right, have you found us now? I've just posted it.
I got it. I'm on there now. I'm watching you. Yeah, Donald Trump to sue the BBC. That's going to be the end of that fucking place.
Oh, there was not some. What is it about?
Yeah, they're supposed to come out with an apology or something today or tomorrow.
Yeah, it's about time the BBC fucking left there. What he did. How many scandals have them had? And the station's still there. They've had paedophiles, the lot.
I know.
It's only because it's the government mouthpiece, Woody. That's why. Oh, hang in there. Gotta do everything all over again there. Hang on, test. Talk, Woody. Woody, talk.
Yeah, I'm here. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, keep talking.
Did you see that I put some interesting things in a chat?
I did, yeah, and I deleted them all.
Why?
Because it's not my cup of tea.
What's not your cup of tea?
Everything what you posted.
Okay, so funny soccer stuff, things like that you're not interested in?
Nah, not like.
I actually took time to do that.
Well,
I
you
didn't
should.
have to, Jimmy. I didn't have to take time to,
Yeah,
you know,
but Woody,
to cut and paste and
listen.
cut and paste and all that shit, trying to do stuff for your show.
Woody,
I don't
this
get paid
is
for this. I was just trying to be nice.
going to lead to you know what there, Woody. So let's not go down that road.
Well, I just don't know why you would disrespect me. That's pretty disrespectful.
Well,
I
I thought
mean,
you would have maybe. Hang on there. There's a thing about disrespectful. It's a matter of maybe asking a person first. Do I like it?
you like what? I didn't post anything rude. I didn't post anything vulgar. You know what I posted? I posted a picture of Northwestern University has this girls soccer, girls football,
Yeah.
has this ongoing rivalry with this other school. I want to say Arizona. I don't think that's right, but they beat the living shit out of each
Hey,
other.
Kareem. Hey. Right, shall I play the rest of this video there, Woody? See what's going on?
I'm getting off here. I came on here just. I had a story to tell you, and I wanted to go over those videos with you. So you eliminated everything I had to contribute.
Yeah, well, you fucked everything up what I was doing, didn't you?
I don't think the vast majority of British people will either.
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Surprising,
So,
the only party that's really been backing to the hilt.
all right, well, I guess you have a good show then. Bye.
I'm slightly worried, to be honest. That's why I've written to Kiers Starmer and Kenny Badenoch.
Yeah, Woody deliberately does that. He does it every fucking week.
For his attack on our BBC. I don't want to be the only party leader defending the BBC. I hope others come and join me.
But you are right now, because you might get sued, Ed.
Every
You
week
need
he
to be
does
very
it.
careful
Every
about
week.
what you say, especially when
And I don't know why he does it for.
using any sort of collusion with Russia.
Now I've got to adjust my voice and everything, you see.
If you want to, President Trump has enough money to do that as well. And it's getting embarrassing now, but it's not just the BBC. I'm going to read the letter.
Hello,
From
1, 2,
President
3,
Trump's
4,
lawyer.
1,
Then I'm
2,
going to
1,
read the
2,
letter
1,
from
2, 1, 2.
Ed Davey, because let's just have some fun. We have a reaction from the former CEO of BBC News, but it's not just the BBC. I discovered something earlier today. We at 2CTV, we watch the mainstream media so you don't have to suffer, and we give you guys the summary of what they rant about. Sky News earlier today implied that Christians who happen to be conservative minded and patriots are far right. This is a cancer in the media culture that we have. Let me just quickly show you this. This is so embarrassing, but I'm going to point out the biggest problem with this Sky News segment.
What can you just clarify some terms? Maybe I should know this. What is Christian nationalism?
Yeah, it's a term that more applies to the US, where we've seen where they have a tradition of really public political Christianity, but basically
far-right Christianity.
nationalist plus Christian. The idea being that people use a Christian identity to exclude others. We do have some sort of history of that in the UK, especially in Northern Ireland, as Christianity is a means of identity. But it feels like it's something new. We've been going to Tommy Robinson rallies, the anti-Islam activist, for a while now, and really struck by the one here in Westminster in September, how many crosses we saw, the Lord's...
Well, they saw crosses, but no, wait for it. What else, apart from crosses? Lord's Prayer.
Prayer being said, it was really front and centre, and that felt like a new...
That is very scary, guys. Lord's Prayer and the crosses, this is the end of the world as we know it. And he literally said, based on their research, Sky News have discovered that, this nationalists and Christianity, it's to exclude people. Christianity and the message of Jesus was literally to be the real definition of the word inclusive. It was universal. It was about the fact that everybody should be welcome. And that is the whole point of why Christianity has been a massive success in terms of the rise of it. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about, obviously, but they're using it. And also, it's saying that these people who are just patriots, if you fly the flag of your country and also say, I'm Team Jesus, then that means you are a far-right Christian. You cannot be a far-right Christian. It's an oxymoron. It makes no sense. Anyway, Ed Davey wrote a letter. Let's go back to Ed Davey, the clown Ed Davey, saying, I've written a letter to Keir Starmer, Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage, urging them to condemn Donald Trump's attack on the BBC. It's going to read a bit of it. It's so embarrassing. Dear Prime Minister, oh, hello. President Trump's assault on the BBC is a serious threat to our national interests. And I urge you to join me in standing up against it. The BBC belongs to everyone here in the United Kingdom. We should be incredibly proud that the UK is home to the world's #1 source of trusted news. I mean, it is technically the UK is home to the world's #1 source of trusted news, 2CTV. But yeah, something that strengthens our democracy while also enhancing our power to uphold our values around the globe. What are our values there, Davey? I really want to ask him if he knows what values he's talking about. As a public service broadcaster, the BBC has an important, distinctive and vibrant role to play in the UK's cultural and media landscape. Translation, the BBC is there to be the propaganda machine and manipulate you. Helping to boost growth and create jobs, on taxpayers' money? That is not creating jobs, you absolute bozo. We cannot afford to let it be destroyed by Donald Trump and his allies. It should be extremely concerning to us all to see the President of the United States pressuring the BBC over its leadership and attacking its journalists as corrupt. It's because they lied, you nutter. They literally doctored the video. And his press secretary telling everyone to watch GB News. Well, that was just funny because she was speaking to GB. They make it sound like the White House released a statement saying, don't watch the BBC, watch GB News, but that would be weird. It was actually because Levitt was actually talking to GB News. Obviously, GB News are friendlier towards the White House. So she was being nice. She said, actually, yeah, watch your channel. They should watch GB News because it's not really anti-White House. Anyway, he says it should not be up to foreign powers to dictate where the British people get their news from. You guys spent years attacking Fox News in the US, especially back when Fox News used to be more robust and sound. We must stand united to defend our democracy from foreign interference like this. For the record, the political left in Britain sent their activists to help Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential elections. The left in Britain need to shut up for a little bit, even when it comes from our crucial ally. The BBC's strength lies in its independence and impartiality. Didn't know he was going to make a joke in the letter. That has been eroded, and it is essential that together we urgently work to ensure that it is properly independent and strong enough to stand up to political pressure, whether foreign or domestic. The BBC must stay true to its original mission. I agree with that. To inform, educate, and entertain. And not be bullied into giving undue prominence to the loudest, most divisive voice. I promise you, if the BBC happened to be right-wing propaganda, the Ed Davey would be attacking it. But just because it's left-wing, they don't really care. They're like, this is good. We need to protect the BBC. Anyway, ranting about the rest of the letter nonsense. The rest of the mainstream media are also coming out to defend the BBC. They are panicking. I can assure you they are panicking because they know the BBC is going down. About time. We have, for example, this weirdo. Kirsty Alslab says, without the BBC, today's ceremony from the cenotaph would not have been televised. For the record, this is yesterday, Sunday, Remembrance Sunday, every year, right? Kirsty, you are an idiot. No, that's not how it works. She says without the BBC, nobody would be able to see Remembrance Sunday service in Westminster from the cenotaph. No. We had chief sources, including Reuters and Associated Press, right there with their cameras to provide the live feed to all channels, including, of course, we work with Reuters in terms of the live feeds, not in terms of journalists, we have our own. They also provided to GB News, Associated Press, of course, work with GB News, and all the other broadcasters around the world. Sky News also have their own cameras. Sky News was there. Reuters was there. Associated Press was there. We don't need you, you weirdos. And that is a lie. Anyway, the BBC is not focusing on actual threats. They made that fake film about President Trump, right? The issue with that is that they said there is a threat from Trumpianism, so we have to expose it. Why is it that today and this week, BBC is not really focusing on a real threat that was literally mentioned? I'm not even joking. This is a serious issue. Iqbal Mohammed MP, you know, the MP who made a move against the Jews in Birmingham to ban the Israelis. He made a speech. He declared, and I quote, I'm going to show you the video, the evidence. We must, this is the Islamist MP, we must take over the whole of Birmingham, the whole of the West Midlands, and the whole of the United Kingdom. We will not be taken for granted, and we will win. Now, if President Trump, or I don't know, let's just say Tommy Robinson, Nick Tanconi, someone else would say the exact same words, we will take over, well, this will be a threat from the far right, and the BBC will focus on it, right? That's what they would do. Let's go to the speech.
These events, these activities, this unity must grow and continue and take over not just parts of Birmingham, but the whole of Birmingham, the whole of the West Midlands, the whole of the UK.
Well, that's concerning. Look at the crowd. Where are the women? Oh, I forget. Women have to be on the other side. Segregation. Lovely, lovely Britain in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, should we read the letter? This is actually quite entertaining. I'm going to read the letter. Then I'm going to show you a video statement we've just received from the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage. And also, we're going to go to the former CEO of BBC News to get her reaction as well. She's the one who got fired, Deborah. It was absolutely delicious. But first things first, let me read out the summary of the letter that has now been sent out to the BBC from President Trump's lawyer. Dear all, this law firm serves as a litigation counsel for President Donald J. Trump. Please direct all future correspondence relating to this matter to my attention, and this correspondence serves as a demand under Florida statute. That you immediately retract the false and defamatory and inflammatory statements made about President Trump, which were published in a Panorama documentary that was fabricated and aired by the BBC. Failure to comply will leave President Trump with no choice but to pursue any and all legal rights and remedies available to recover damages for the overwhelming financial and reputational harm that the BBC has caused him to suffer, with all rights and remedies being expressly reserved by President Trump. And then they continued, because this letter keeps going for a while in terms of the details of what they're talking about. But what I want to read out is a section which is the actual demand. The above referenced false, malicious and inflammatory statements were published to deliberately attack President Trump. The timing of the fabricated documentary is evident. The BBC's reckless disregard for the truth underscores the actual malice behind the decision to publish the wrongful content, given the plain falsity of their statements. According to President Trump, hereby demands that you immediately issue a full and fair retraction of the documentary and any and all other false, defamatory, misleading and inflammatory statements about President Trump in as conspicuous a manner that they were originally published. 2, immediately issue an apology for the false and defamatory, misleading statements about President Trump. And 3, compensate President Trump for the harm caused. So they don't just want an apology. A lot of people thought that, well, yeah, the White House are simply asking for an apology. No, because the apology already came anyway. This goes beyond that. Anyway, it says, if the BBC does not comply with the above by November the
once again from Warsaw. This time it is light, Dan. Good afternoon.
Yeah, we've got about another hour, haven't we, before it starts
If
getting
that,
dark.
I reckon.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
If
looking
that.
like it's setting in already. Looking like it's setting in already.
People will start
cold, isn't it,
coming
today?
into the room pretty soon. Yeah, it is bloody cold.